Well, hello again, my Scentsy loving friends. This is Jamie Jo Sells Wax here on YouTube, and I, of course, am your host, Jamie Jo. I am so glad you joined me today, but perhaps this is your first time to my channel. You have no idea what's even going on here, and just because of the nature of this video, that might quite possibly be true. My name is Jamie, and I have been a Scentsy consultant for over 15 years. I joined the company all the way back in October of 2008. I was a public school teacher at the time. I taught elementary school special education, but I found the need to have some fragrance in my classroom. Luckily, I stumbled across Scentsy at a craft show, fell in love with the product. Long story short, became a Scentsy addict, became a Scentsy consultant, and now I've reached the top level of the company, which is called Superstar Director. As silly and made up as that name sounds, it's for real. Google it. It's for real. Today, I want to talk to you about like all the frequently asked questions about Scentsy wax. Now, Scentsy has tons of different products now. You can see a bunch on the shelves behind me, even though it's blurred out. But today specifically, we are talking about this bad boy right here. This is the heart and soul of Scentsy Fragrance. Our company started out with warmers and wax. So today we are going to talk about this thing right here, this Scentsy wax bar. So first of all, I want to let you guys know this is not all my personal information. Scentsy has a blog, and it's an awesome educational blog. And so just to make sure that I was giving you guys accurate answers, I referred to a blog post they had made a while ago about this topic. Now, I'm going to give you my own opinion. I'm going to throw in my spin on things, but the base information came from Scentsy itself. Let's jump right into the frequently asked questions about the Scentsy bar. First of all, what even is a Scentsy bar? This right here is a Scentsy bar. It is a bar of wax that is paraffin wax based. It has fragrance in it, fragrance oils in it, both natural and synthetic, both of those. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. We use both natural and synthetic to help make it be the best long lasting fragrance bar. So paraffin wax. Why paraffin wax? Paraffin wax was chosen for several different reasons. The biggest reason being that it has the highest scent loading ability. That means that this wax can hold the most fragrance oil of all of the waxes out there. That means that we can load up this bad boy with all the fragrance for you. You're going to find that it's stronger, that's longer lasting than our competitors for that reason. Also, we really love the paraffin wax because of the low melting temperature. That means that we don't have to have something that's scorching hot to get our wax to melt. It's going to melt at a lower temperature. That means less chance for burning. Actually, if you're using a Scentsy warmer and Scentsy wax, it's not going to burn you because it warms at such a low temperature. Also, that allows the fragrance to be emitted without that burning smell. So lots of different reasons that we choose the paraffin wax. That's just a brief overview. Where are these bars made anyway? Did you guys know that they're made right here in the US in a cute little community just outside of Boise called Meridian, Idaho? I've been there several times. It's such a cute area. And let me tell you, if you're in that area, you probably already know this, but the Scentsy corporate offices and distribution where they make all this stuff has the most amazing Christmas lights display. Open to the public. It's freaking amazing. If you're in that area, you need to go check it out. I digress. Back to this bar. Why is it shaped like that? Like, you see wax bars on the market, several other places. A lot of people make their own. You can find them in the big box stores. Why is ours shaped like that? So fun fact, it's actually based on our original warmer. You can see it right there. You can see kind of the shape of it. That is maybe not the original, but one of our original warmers, and it's called the Classic Curve. And so that is why our bar is shaped like this. It's just a throwback, a little nod to that Classic Curve warmer. And I mean, bottom line, isn't this a lot cuter than a square? It's just a lot cuter than a square. I do believe that it allows us a little more wax too, because if this was a square, I mean, I guess, no. Like if it was a square, it'd be just like that. It'd be less wax, friends. 3.2 ounces, that's what we have in our Scentsy bars. So I talked a little bit about why we choose paraffin wax, but how do we make the Scentsy bars smell so freaking good? So first of all, we have brilliant people that legit know their stuff as far as fragrance grows. We're not just fragrance goes. We're not just a little mom and pop thing. Like, we have brilliant people in the world of perfuming and fragrance and all this stuff. They know all the nitty gritty. So I don't have to. I do know that every fragrance bar has a top note, a mid note, and a base note. So it's very rare that you will see a Scentsy fragrance that's just like one scent. We did have a line called the Simply line. It was Simply Vanilla, Simply Patchouli, Simply Cinnamon, things like that. That was just a single fragrance. But most of our bars have several different fragrances mixed together to give a beautiful mix. Some of our bars include like 30 to 60 different ingredients. I'm glad I'm not the chemist having to come up with that mix, that they do all that hard work for me, and I just get to smell the yummy stuff and share it with you guys. I think I got the best part of the job. The next question we often get is, why do you discontinue fragrances? My favorite, why do you discontinue it? Okay, friends, let's think about this. Each season, we have anywhere from 80 to 100 fragrances. And we all know that fragrances of the world change from season to season. If we always kept all the fragrances we ever had, Scentsy's been around almost 20 years. I can't even fathom the number of scents that we would have to be offering you if we never discontinued scents. So fragrances discontinue for a couple different reasons. The first is they're just seasonal. That's what it is. They're seasonal and they're only consumed meaning smelled, a certain time of the year. So they're discontinued just seasonally and they do come back. Other times fragrances are discontinued because they're just not selling well. Sometimes fragrances will be discontinued because they're tweaking it just a bit to make it a little bit better. So you need to always be in constant contact with your Scentsy consultant so you know what's being discontinued and what is staying. I would love to be your Scentsy consultant. If you don't have one yet, just reach out to me. Text the word Scentsy, SCENTSY, to 918-888-9690, and I would love to add you to my customer list so you always know what's going on. Because here's the really cool thing. If we have a fragrance that is being discontinued, consultants always have a heads up, and we can let you guys know what's being discontinued. If one of your favorites is on the chopping block, you can always add it to Scentsy Club, because we have this awesome program called Always Get My Bar. And if you add your fragrance to Club with Always Get My Bar, you guessed it, you will always get your bar. Scentsy will always make it for you. And that's a really, really cool deal. So we've talked about discontinuing. When can I smell the new scents? Now, used to, that only happened like twice a year. We had a big catalog transition. It happens in March, so it's coming up. It also happens in September. Now, we have often, I mean, I don't know when Scent of the Month started. I think they had it back in 08 when I started, but we've always had a scent of the month. So there's always at least one brand new fragrance every month. But man, Scentsy has stepped up their game, and they are always releasing seasonal sets or limited time offer sets, collaboration sets with Disney or Marvel or Harry Potter. All these things are always releasing. So we have our big product release in March and in September. But beyond that, we have product releases happening several times a month. So again, you need to have a Scentsy consultant that you're working with hand in hand. So how should you store your Scentsy bars? I could go into a long, huge description, but let me just tell you this. They need to sit like this, because remember how I told you we scent load like crazy, crazy, crazy? If you store your bars like that or like that, there is the possibility that you'll see something that we call sweating or leaking. It's where the oils have kind of separated from the wax. They'll kind of pool in here. Actually, sometimes if you have them hanging like this, they'll actually drip out. So it is best to store them flat with the perforated part down, but also make sure that you're storing them in a dry and a cool place. That way you will maximize the life of your Scentsy bar. So do they expire while we're talking about that? Ideally, you want to use your Scentsy bars within a year, but as long as you are properly storing them, they are like this. They are in a nice, cool, dry place, and you're rotating them, like you're using the oldest ones first and putting the newest ones on the bottom of the stack. As long as you're doing that, you're going to be fine. I actually have Scentsy bars that I've had like 10 years, and they still smell. Now, sometimes you will see color change as well as the sweating that I just described. That does not mean that the product is defective or that it can't be used, it shouldn't be used. It just means that the mix is just kind of apart a little bit. With coloring, colors fade, and sometimes the chemicals in the bar will cause the colors to fade. As far as the sweating and the dripping, it doesn't affect it, it just gets messy. They're still perfectly good to use. Now, a lot of people will ask us, how long does a Scentsy bar last? And it is so hard to give an accurate answer. So many factors play into that. What fragrance notes are in the bar? Because certain fragrance notes do last longer. What is the humidity where you live? That is going to have a huge effect. What is the temperature where you live? That's going to be another huge factor. We need to look at things like, is there a fan or an air conditioner in the room that is blowing the fragrance around? So many factors play in that really I don't even want to give you a number because it's such personal preference or such personal interpretation of it. Now, some people say, I can't smell my Scentsy anymore. They've changed the formula. They've changed the formula. I promise you, they have not changed the formula. What is happening is you are experiencing olfactive fatigue, or some people use the word anosmia. This just means you've gotten used to the scent. You've gotten used to the scent. Have you ever been around someone that smokes cigarettes and they reek of a cigarette, but they have no idea? Marijuana is legalized here in Oklahoma. That happens a lot with people that are smoking marijuana too. Like, I can smell them across the store and they have no idea they smell like that. Someone that has lots of pets, sometimes they smell like a wet dog, but they don't know that they smell like a wet dog. They've gotten used to the scent. The same thing can happen with your Scentsy fragrances. If you are like a diehard for one fragrance, you have a signature scent and you're never changing it, that can often happen. You just get used to it. So that is why we recommend that you are always rotating your fragrances so your nose can be like on a first date each time you change the fragrance. That was cute. I just made that up. Can you use a Scentsy bar in another company's wax warmer? I mean, I'm not going to say no. But do you remember at the very first of the video, I told you that this has a low warming temperature? We don't know what wattage of bulb or, what other power source other companies' warmers are using. And we know that Scentsy warmers are designed specifically to be the right temperature for this wax. So we really recommend that you use our wax in an actual Scentsy warmer. Okay, I'm gonna zip through. You discontinued my favorite fragrance. Oh, actually I will touch on it because there's something else. So if your favorite fragrance has been discontinued, if you didn't know it, you didn't get it added into your club. We've already talked about that, right, friends? If you didn't get it added to your club, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna find a fragrance? First line of defense is to contact your Scentsy consultant or myself and ask what they recommend. Again, text me 918-888-9690. Text me and ask me, hey, I liked X, Y, and Z. What do you recommend? And we can have a conversation to find out what you liked about that scent and what ones I can recommend. Also, you can just Google the fragrance and see what scent notes were in it. Look on my website at jamijoesellswax.com and compare the scent notes of different bars and find one that is similar. Here's a fun question. Can I add fresh Scentsy wax to wax that is no longer fragrant in my warmer? My answer is you can do what you want, but you're wasting your money. Okay, think about it this way. If you are drinking an iced tea, I'm an iced tea drinker. If you're drinking your sweet tea, although I'm off sugar right now. Oh, sweet tea sounds so good. If you're drinking your sweet tea and the ice melts and it gets all watered down, are you just gonna pour more tea into your watered down tea, or are you gonna dump it out and start fresh? Chances are you're gonna dump it out and start fresh, and that's the story with Scentsy fragrance as well. You don't wanna add fresh bars to old wax that's already no more fragrance because you're doing nothing but diluting the scent down and wasting your money. Always clean it out and start fresh. Speaking of cleaning out, how do I clean it out? My top recommendation is cotton cleanups. Now these are big giant cotton rounds. Come on camera, be my friend. There we go, big giant cotton round. You drop this down in your warmer. The cotton is going to soak up the wax. You pull it out, you toss it, and you put in your fresh wax. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That is the best way to change your Scentsy wax. Now, if you go on my website in the month of February and you try to search for cotton cleanups, you're not gonna find them. It's gonna say discontinued. Right now, the only way that you can get cotton cleanups is through Scentsy Club. That is because we are pulling them to bring them out better. Remember, I mentioned that earlier in this video. Sometimes we pull things to tweak it and make it a little bit better. We are redoing our cotton cleanups to where they will fit every single style of warmer, even our mini warmers. So that is why cotton cleanups are showing discontinued right now. The last question, two questions really, are about the oils and the ingredients that we put in Scentsy bars. A lot of people say, hey, why aren't you using all natural ingredients? Now here's the thing, friends. If we were to do a bar of, let's say, lavender, we could easily use a natural essential oil, something like that. But we have had a bar called Sugar Cookie. And it was a great bar and a top selling bar. But how do you get essential oil of sugar cookies? I don't know how you do that. And there's a lot of our fragrances that we do have to use synthetic oils because a natural or essential oil does not exist. So that is the reason that we're using some essential oils. And this last question, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, to the point. Does a Scentsy bar contain any nut or mineral oils? No. Do they contain bisphenol A, BPA? No. Gluten? No. Lead? No. Egg? No. Harmful phthalates? No. Formaldehyde? No. Guys, we are using paraffin wax with natural and synthetic oils and color, but I promise you, these are safe to use. We are not throwing anything into your body that is nasty, icky. All of this stuff has been tested to be safe and perfect for our Scentsy customers and our Scentsy fans. Guys, this video was a little longer than I normally do. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I want to make sure that I get all of your questions answered. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go to corporate and ask them. I'm going to find an answer for you. Don't hesitate to reach out to me here on this video, on social media. Find me on Facebook or Instagram under Jami Jo Sells Wax, or I've said it a couple times, text me, 918-888-9690. Guys, my name is Jami Jo, and I hope that you have a sensational day.